Most people believe that living to 100 is all about exercising every day, pushing the body to its limits and following strict fitness routines. But what if that's not the key at all? What if the real secret to longevity had little to do with intense workouts and everything to do with something far simpler? Research on centenarians, people who live to 100 or beyond, reveals that while movement is important, it's not about how much you exercise, but how you live your daily life. In this video, we're uncovering 5 powerful lifestyle habits that have been linked to extreme longevity, all backed by studies of the world's longest living populations. These aren't complicated fitness regimens or strict diets, but natural habits that support health in a sustainable, effortless way. If you're hoping to increase your chances of living a long, fulfilling life, this information is something you can't afford to miss. Stay tuned until the end, because some of these habits might surprise you. They don't require you to become a marathon runner or spend hours at the gym, but they do require a shift in how you approach your health, your relationships, and your mindset. Now let's get started. Number 1, prioritizing strong social connections. One of the most overlooked, yet powerful factors in longevity is the strength of your social connections. While many believe that diet or exercise is the primary key to living longer, research consistently shows that people with close, meaningful relationships tend to outlive those who are isolated. It's not just about having acquaintances or casual friendships. It's about maintaining deep, emotionally supportive bonds with family, friends, and the community. The truth is, human connection isn't just good for the heart emotionally, it's literally good for the heart physically. When people feel lonely or disconnected, their bodies enter a state of chronic stress. This stress leads to an increase in cortisol, the hormone responsible for the fight or flight response. Over time, elevated cortisol levels contribute to inflammation, high blood pressure, and even a weakened immune system. In contrast, people who feel a strong sense of belonging and purpose tend to have lower stress levels, better cardiovascular health, and even stronger immune responses. Scientists studying the world's longest living communities, often referred to as blue zones, have found that nearly all centenarians share one common trait. They are deeply embedded in strong social networks. Consider the story of 84-year-old George. He was widowed in his late 70s and found himself retreating into isolation. At first, he assumed this was just part of getting older, spending more time alone, avoiding large gatherings, and keeping conversations short. But over time, he started feeling more fatigued, less interested in his usual hobbies, and even developed high blood pressure. A neighbor invited him to join a local group of retired veterans who met weekly, and although George was hesitant at first, he eventually agreed to go. Within months, his energy improved, his stress levels dropped, and his doctor noticed an improvement in his overall health. This isn't just anecdotal. Studies show that people with strong social ties have a 50% higher chance of living longer compared to those who are socially isolated. Loneliness has been linked to the same level of risk as smoking or obesity, and yet it's rarely discussed as a major health factor. In many traditional cultures where people regularly live past 100, it's common to see multi-generational households, tight-knit communities, and daily social interactions that keep people mentally and emotionally engaged. These connections aren't just about fun, they serve as a buffer against the challenges of aging. Even if you don't have a large social circle, small but meaningful interactions can make a difference. Maintaining a few deep, supportive friendships is more valuable than having dozens of shallow acquaintances. Whether it's reconnecting with old friends, joining a local club, or even making a habit of chatting with neighbors, the goal is to create a routine where social interaction is a natural part of daily life. The more connected you feel to others, the healthier and longer your life is likely to be. If you've ever felt that your relationships don't impact your health, think again. Prioritizing strong social bonds is one of the most powerful and natural ways to extend your lifespan. Whether through family, friends, or community, finding ways to stay engaged with others can make all the difference in not only how long you live, but how well you live. Number 2, eating in moderation and following a natural diet. One of the most common traits among people who live to 100 isn't extreme dieting or counting every calorie. It's eating in moderation and choosing natural whole foods. Many assume that strict meal plans or eliminating certain food groups are the key to longevity, but the truth is far simpler. Centenarians across the world don't necessarily follow a rigid diet, but they do eat mindfully, consume fresh, unprocessed foods, and often stop eating before they feel completely full. This approach isn't about restriction, it's about balance. One of the most fascinating patterns seen in long-lived populations is something called the 80% rule, a habit practiced in regions like Okinawa, Japan, where people stop eating when they feel about 80% full. This small change allows the digestive system to function efficiently, without overloading the body with excess calories. Overeating forces the body to work harder, leading to inflammation and an increased risk of diseases like diabetes and heart disease. In contrast, eating until you're just satisfied, not stuffed, reduces strain on the system, promotes better metabolism, and contributes to a longer, healthier life. Take the case of 82-year-old Ruth. She had spent most of her life eating 3 large meals a day, often finishing everything on her plate out of habit. But after moving in with her daughter, who had studied nutrition and longevity, Ruth began making small changes. She started eating more vegetables, cutting back on processed foods and serving herself slightly smaller portions. Within months, she felt lighter, had more energy, and even noticed improvements in her digestion. It wasn't a drastic change, just a shift in mindset and habits. Beyond portion control, the quality of food also plays a major role in longevity. Most people who live past 100 don't rely on heavily processed foods or artificial ingredients. Instead, their diets are filled with fresh vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts, and healthy fats. Many of them also consume plant-based proteins with small amounts of fish or lean meats. It's not about eliminating certain foods entirely, but about choosing natural, nutrient-dense options as the foundation of every meal. Another key factor is meal timing. Many centenarians eat their largest meals earlier in the day, allowing the body to properly digest and rest at night. Late-night eating has been linked to metabolic issues, weight gain, and poor sleep, all of which can accelerate aging. In contrast, those who eat their final meal earlier in the evening and allow their bodies time to fast overnight tend to have better digestion, more stable energy levels, and healthier aging overall. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect of eating for longevity is the social and emotional connection to food. Many long-lived cultures emphasize eating together, sharing meals with loved ones, and treating food as something to be enjoyed rather than rushed. This practice not only strengthens relationships, but also helps regulate portion sizes and encourages slower, more mindful eating, both of which contribute to better digestion and overall well-being. If you're looking to extend your life, the goal isn't to adopt a strict diet or deprive yourself of the foods you love. Instead, focus on moderation, choosing whole foods over processed ones, and paying attention to how much and when you eat. Small, sustainable changes can have a profound impact on your long-term health without ever making you feel restricted. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, managing stress and practicing mindful living. One of the most underestimated factors in longevity isn't diet or exercise. It's how well you manage stress. While some level of stress is inevitable, chronic stress is one of the biggest contributors to premature aging, heart disease, and weakened immune function. People who live to 100 aren't immune to stress, but they have developed habits that allow them to navigate life's challenges without letting stress take a lasting toll on their bodies. Whether through relaxation techniques, daily routines, or simply adopting a calmer mindset, learning how to manage stress effectively is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health. When stress becomes chronic, it triggers an ongoing fight or flight response in the body. This leads to elevated cortisol levels, increased inflammation, and a higher risk of developing conditions like hypertension, digestive disorders, and even memory loss. Many people who reach 100 have one thing in common. They don't let stress control them. Instead of reacting with panic or frustration, they embrace a slower, more mindful approach to life. This doesn't mean they don't face hardships. It means they've learned to adapt, accept, and move forward without allowing stress to consume them. Consider the case of 80-year-old Leonard. He had spent most of his working life as a high-stress executive, constantly dealing with deadlines, long hours, and high-pressure situations. After retirement, he found himself feeling just as tense, worrying about finances, family, and health. It wasn't until he started practicing mindfulness, taking morning walks, breathing deeply, and simply focusing on the present, that he noticed a change. His sleep improved, his blood pressure stabilized, And for the first time in years, he felt a sense of peace that had been missing for decades. In the world's longest living cultures, stress management isn't an afterthought. It's built into daily life. Many centenarians practice relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or prayer. Others engage in simple, calming activities such as gardening, knitting, or even enjoying an afternoon tea with friends. These small rituals may seem insignificant, but they play a crucial role in keeping stress levels low and preserving overall health. One of the most effective ways to reduce stress is to create a daily routine that allows for moments of stillness. Whether it's setting aside time in the morning to reflect, winding down in the evening with a good book, or simply learning to let go of unnecessary worries, finding a way to reset the mind can have profound effects on longevity. In fact, research has shown that people who engage in daily relaxation practices tend to have lower rates of inflammation, stronger immune function, and even a reduced risk of dementia. Another critical factor is having a positive outlook on life. Many centenarians share a common trait. They don't dwell on negativity. Instead of focusing on what they've lost or what could go wrong, they embrace gratitude and find joy in small things. This shift in mindset isn't just good for mental health. It directly affects the body by reducing stress hormones, improving heart health, and even boosting overall resilience. If stress has been a constant presence in your life, the good news is that it's never too late to make a change. Learning how to manage stress effectively doesn't require major life adjustments. It simply means making small, intentional choices every day that allow your body and mind to rest. Whether through mindfulness, relaxation, or shifting your perspective, reducing stress may be one of the most important steps you can take toward a longer, healthier life. Number 4, staying mentally active and continuously learning. One of the strongest predictors of longevity isn't just how well you take care of your body, it's how well you take care of your mind. People who live to 100 tend to stay mentally engaged, continuously learning, and challenging their brains in ways that keep them sharp. It's not about formal education or solving complex equations. It's about maintaining curiosity, exploring new interests, and keeping the brain active well into old age. Just as muscles weaken when they're not used, the brain can also decline if it's not regularly stimulated. Cognitive decline is one of the biggest concerns for aging individuals. And while some memory loss is natural, studies show that people who engage in lifelong learning have significantly lower rates of dementia and cognitive impairment. Keeping the brain active strengthens neural connections, increases mental resilience, and slows down age-related decline. This is why many centenarians maintain hobbies, read books, learn new skills, or even take up new challenges, like playing an instrument or speaking a new language. Consider 85-year-old Dorothy, who spent most of her life working as a school teacher. After retiring, she found herself slipping into a routine that lacked mental stimulation, watching television, doing housework, and repeating the same daily habits. Over time, she started noticing small lapses in memory and difficulty concentrating. Concerned about cognitive decline, she decided to make a change. She joined a local book club, started doing crossword puzzles each morning, and even took an online history course. Within months, she felt more engaged, more alert, and more connected to the world around her. Keeping the brain active doesn't require anything extreme. Small, consistent efforts can make a huge difference. Many centenarians swear by simple daily habits like playing chess, learning new recipes, or even engaging in deep conversations with friends. The key is to challenge the brain regularly, giving it new information to process and analyze. Just as physical exercise keeps the body strong, mental exercise keeps the brain functioning at its best. Another powerful factor in maintaining cognitive health is avoiding mental stagnation. People who fall into rigid routines, stop learning new things, or avoid engaging in stimulating conversations often experience faster cognitive decline. On the other hand, those who seek out new experiences, whether it's traveling to a new place, trying a new hobby, or even having a debate on an interesting topic, keep their minds flexible and sharp. Social engagement also plays a role in brain health. Conversations require quick thinking, memory recall, and emotional awareness, all of which strengthen cognitive function. This is why centenarians who remain socially active often experience slower mental decline than those who withdraw from interactions. Whether it's discussing current events, telling stories from the past, or simply engaging in playful banter, socializing keeps the brain working in ways that protect it from aging. The takeaway here is simple. If you want to live a long and mentally vibrant life, never stop learning. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, reading about topics that interest you, or simply having more stimulating conversations, keeping your brain engaged is one of the best things you can do for your long-term health. The mind thrives on curiosity, and the more you feed it, the stronger it remains. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5, having a strong sense of purpose and daily routine. One of the most consistent traits found among people who live past 100 isn't a perfect diet, strict exercise routine, or even access to top-tier healthcare. It's a strong sense of purpose. Centenarians across the world tend to wake up each day with a clear reason for living, whether it's caring for family, contributing to their community, or simply enjoying the small pleasures of life. This sense of purpose isn't just a nice idea. It has been scientifically linked to lower stress levels, better heart health, and even a longer lifespan. When people have a sense of purpose, their bodies respond differently to stress. They produce lower levels of cortisol, experience better sleep, and tend to have healthier habits overall. Studies have shown that individuals with a strong life purpose are significantly less likely to suffer from chronic diseases, depression, or cognitive decline. In contrast, those who lose their sense of purpose, often after retirement or major life changes, are at greater risk of health issues and even early mortality. Having something to look forward to each day is not just emotionally fulfilling, it's biologically protective. Take the case of 87-year-old Frank. After retiring from his career in carpentry, he found himself struggling with a loss of identity. Without work to keep him busy, he felt restless, uncertain, and even a little lost. But when his granddaughter asked him to teach her how to build simple wooden furniture, something changed. Frank started spending his mornings in his workshop, sharing his skills and passing on his knowledge. The shift was immediate. His energy returned, his mood improved, and even his doctor noticed positive changes in his overall health. It wasn't about staying busy, it was about having something meaningful to do. In the world's longest living cultures, this concept is often built into daily life. In Okinawa, Japan, it's known as ikigai, a deep sense of purpose that keeps people engaged well into old age. In Sardinia, Italy, many centenarians continue working in their gardens, taking care of animals, or helping younger generations in their families. The key isn't the specific task, it's the feeling that what they do still matters. This purpose-driven mindset keeps the brain active, reduces feelings of isolation, and promotes both physical and emotional well-being. Alongside purpose, another factor that plays a crucial role in longevity is having a daily routine. Many centenarians follow structured, consistent routines that bring a sense of stability to their lives. Whether it's waking up at the same time each day, engaging in light activity, or maintaining simple daily rituals, these habits help regulate the body's natural rhythms. Having a predictable routine can lower stress, improve sleep, and even enhance digestion, all of which contribute to a longer, healthier life. Another overlooked aspect of routine is the importance of movement throughout the day. While many people assume that longevity requires intense exercise, centenarians rarely go to gyms or push their bodies to exhaustion. Instead, they incorporate movement naturally, walking to visit friends, tending to gardens, or simply staying active through daily responsibilities. This approach keeps the body strong without the strain of high-impact workouts, proving that longevity isn't about how much you exercise, but how consistently you move. The bottom line is this: if you want to live a long, fulfilling life, find something that gives you purpose. Whether it's a hobby, a role in your family, or simply a reason to get up and start the day, that sense of meaning can add years to your life. Combine that with a steady, manageable routine, and you create a foundation for both physical and emotional well-being. Living to 100 isn't just about avoiding illness. It's about waking up each day with a reason to keep going. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on these 5 powerful habits that can help you live a longer, healthier life. It's not about spending hours in the gym or following extreme diets. It's about making small, sustainable choices that add up over time. The world's longest living people don't just focus on physical health, they cultivate strong relationships, manage stress, keep their minds sharp, and wake up each day with a sense of purpose. What stood out to you the most? Which of these habits do you already practice? And which one do you think you could work on? The key to longevity isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Simple changes, like staying connected with loved ones, eating mindfully, keeping your brain active, and maintaining a strong sense of purpose, can have a profound impact on both your lifespan and your quality of life. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.